New records indicate the Biden-Harris campaign is poised to take in tens of millions of dollars from unnamed donors so far this election cycle. And that's despite the president making comments like this.
There's something I've always cared about, and at its best, our democracy serves all people equally, no matter wealth or privilege. But here's the deal. There's much too much money that flows in the shadows to influence our elections. It's called dark money. Dark money erodes public trust. We need to protect public trust, and I'm determined to do that.
He's determined to do that. Patrice OBrien is the director of the Center for Economic Opportunity at the Independent Women's Forum, and she joins us now. Patrice, what changed? Does dark money no longer erode the public trust?
Good morning, guys. What has changed is that Democrats have actually learned how to outspend conservatives when it comes to using political action money and so-called dark money. So I think they figured out, okay, this is a really great game we want to play, and so we're going to play it really well. In 2019, at that time, Vice President Biden was on the campaign trail with all of his other contenders saying, oh, no, we're not going to take any sort of outside money during the primary season, but they certainly welcomed it during the general election because they wanted to beat Trump. It is not surprising that we're now seeing them turning to these outside funding sources, as conservatives do, frankly, at this time around.
Yeah, so President Biden, about a week or two ago, he announced that he raised $72 million in 3 months, which is good. But then yesterday, a New York Times Siena College poll came out, shows that only 20% of Democrats say they're enthusiastic about his nomination versus 26% of people who are enthusiastic about Kamala Harris. So according to this poll, Kamala Harris is beating Joe Biden. What does that mean when it comes to future fundraising for the president?
Well, I think it's going to be more difficult for him to get those small dollar donors on board with this campaign. I mean, if you're not enthusiastic, then you're not going to stick your hand in your pocket and give to his campaign. And so he's probably going to continue to rely a lot more on the super PAC money to be able to fund his campaign. And you know where that money is coming from? Well, it's coming from a lot of mega donors. It's coming from a lot of Hollywood types, a lot of corporations, obviously. And so people who want to shape the narrative coming out of the administration. And unfortunately, the downstream of that are the policies that we are forced to feel today.
Speaking of money, speaking of the downstream of those policies, mayhem following the U.S. credit rating downgrade by Fitch. Let's take a look at Dow futures. If we can pop that fancy thing up on your screen, you look at it, oh, wow, that's yesterday. You saw the futures right before that. Let's summarize. A lot of red arrows pointing down. That is not good. So, Patrice, a lot of people are saying, this isn't that big of a deal. The White House is saying they shouldn't have done this, but it's not a big deal. Shark Tank host Kevin OLeary, who knows a little something about making money, explains this does matter. Listen.
What happened in the last 48 hours? There's no way to sugarcoat this. It's bad news. It's basically a rating agency saying, your faith in the American government to pay you back has been diminished from a AAA to a AA. This is very concerning because the way it affects you and me, Sean, and everybody listening to us right now is the cost of capital to America, the cost, in other words, when we borrow money from other sovereign nations to pay our deficits, just went up.
Of course, Biden blamed Trump, but as we know, Trump is literally blamed for every malady in our world. How did Biden himself and his administration really cause this downgrade to happen?
Well, reckless, massive, unnecessary spending. I mean, we can start with the American Rescue Plan that was passed in 2021. And so we've seen that continuation, the CHIPS Act, the misleading Inflation Reduction Act. All of these are compounding the federal spending in this country right now. Let's not forget, just this week, the Treasury Department said that they're actually going to need to increase their borrowing by $1 trillion, much more than they expected. And the deficit is up 169% from this time the year before in the fiscal year. So spending has not slowed, as President Biden has claimed, and that is having an effect, which is why the credit rating has been downgraded for the second time in the past 20, 30 years. It's dangerous, and it is an indictment on like the lack of stewardship coming from the White House and frankly coming from Congress.
Patrice OBrien, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.